Hello, welcome to 6 Tips by Fortreal Real Estate Academy, Nigeria's #1 real estate academy. And as you already know, we look at very important tips and issues, conversations, questions, problems, challenges as it relates to selling real estate in Nigeria as a realtor, as a broker, or a real estate practitioner or professional generally. My name is Raymond Ijama, and I am the lead facilitator of the Fortreal Real Estate Academy, and I encourage you to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and of course stay in touch. If you have questions, we're happy to respond to them in the comment section or even do a video about your question. So do stay in touch, and of course be a part of this family where we are building wealthy realtors and real estate agents. And of course that can only happen if you're making sales consistently, right? So today we're going to be addressing a very important issue on how to know a serious client. I know that a lot of you have asked this question, and in fact it is a worry for a lot of realtors, right? So I need to quickly address that particular issue today. How do you know a client is serious? Now, as somebody who has done this for a while, I know for a fact that I've never seen any client that serious is written on his forehead. No, you will not find, right? So usually, because you can't find serious or not serious written on anybody's forehead, you can't assume that the person is serious or is not serious, because you can assume wrongly. I remember there was a month that I wrote, because I have a note. I encourage readers to also have this. I mean, these are part of the 6 tips that help, right? So I have a diary where I write down my leads in every month, right? Sometimes the leads are much and I'm not able to catch up, or maybe my schedule is not able to, be able to help me, or I'm not able to do that religiously. But I know that every time my schedule permits me, or I prioritize doing it, I actually do well at the end of every month, right? So I remember a month that, so that is a tip for you. If you are a realtor, don't just have the client in your head, right? Make sure that you have a note, a diary, your laptop, your phone, your system. I also use HubSpot, right? So you can also use that to be able to check your lead generation, look at your conversation with every client, and then just put them together in a way that can help you be able to track where you are with the client, follow up conversation with the client, and all of that. So that's a very important sales tip, right? So moving away from there, I remember one of these months I wrote, after a couple of chats with the client, I just got angry and I wrote not serious on his on the conversation part of his notes, and I just left it there. You won't believe that the next month this guy just chats me up, right, and then sends me a message about account details and all of that for that same product that we had a conversation about last month. And that's how a 15.5 million naira transaction happened. No stress this time around, right? So I could have assumed that, I mean, this guy, like I did, right? Not serious. But the next month, not serious moved to sharp payments, right? So that's the reality of real estate for clients. At the point they are chatting you up, they may be praying and fasting. They may be hoping for money to drop. Some of them reach out to you by faith, right? I remember a funny story. The guy's a developer now, right? When he wanted to start real estate, I remember he wrote about reaching out to a real estate company in Abuja, and in fact, they were writing letters to show how serious. This guy didn't have jack. This guy didn't have money. According to him, he was just expressing faith, right? So they were writing letters, himself and the company, and he just referred back to it and remember how what he did and how he did by faith, and today is here, right? So some persons may be reaching out to you by faith, showing seriousness, but they are not even anywhere near having the money to do transactions with you. But either way, my question or my opinion on the subject matter from experience is the fact that first you need to ask yourself a very important question: how did that client reach out to you? This question, or this particular question I just asked, is a major game changer in determining whether this particular client is serious or not. Again, like I said, you can't tell whether a client is serious by the facial expression, by the kind of car that he came to site with, and all of that, right? So ask yourself this question: how did this client come? And that is why, for me, as at this point, I have not even engaged, let alone want to close. I don't want to engage in any transaction that it involves one other realtor, two other realtors, three other realtors, and the chain is so long and you can't even determine whether the client is serious or not, right? Because it comes with a lot of baggages, and in fact, sometimes you even close the deals and then even more issues happen that sometimes will lead to a refund or issues of you not getting your commission and all of that. So I've heard a lot of stories like that, right? So for me, how I'm able to determine whether this client is serious first is where this client came from, the pool or the stream of how this client came in. So for me, I have my channels, my organic channels, and majorly organic channels. So from those organic channels, I can determine that, okay, the fact that this guy had seen this from this particular place and intentionally took my number and reached out to me. First of all, I give him a percentage of interest, right? The moment any client chats me up, I have a 10% interest given to you because I know that where you are coming from, there's a level of seriousness that will require for you to cross in to come and reach out to me, right? So the moment I ascertain that, I begin to have conversations. And at that point of having those conversations, I pre-qualify you. In other words, I have a conversation that gives you or that requires you to give me certain answers. And you giving me those certain answers, there is a possibility that there's going to be a closing. It is always not 100%. But one thing is clear, it is the fact that if this person is indeed serious today, most likely a payment will happen. If the person is not serious, maybe it will happen tomorrow. So in pre-qualifying the client, you are able to determine whether this guy is going to be serious or not. And for me, I have had clients who are pre-qualified, but they never made payment, right? But sometimes I also realize that these people just want to reach out to you to know who you are, right? They want to have the first conversation with you because for me, most of our clients on this side are not people who are physically around in the country, right? So they just want to interact with you, know how you talk, feel you, check the connection, and then get back to you, observe you for a while, check your WhatsApp status once in a while. So at that point, your consistency will also play a major role in determining whether you are going to do well or close this deal or not. So sometimes the client may reach out to you, not showing seriousness in making payment. And one thing I need to say here very quickly is the fact that the fact that the client did not pay doesn't naturally mean that the client is not serious, because there are 4 levels to qualifying a client. There are 4 levels to determine whether a client is going to pay or not. And sometimes those levels cannot be crossed overnight. You have to take time. Sometimes it requires a process to lead. The client will have to take his own steps gradually up to the 4th level and then cross to the payment level, which is the 5th level. Right, so you have to understand that most of the times it is not about whether the client pays immediately. It may also be about crossing the process leading up to making payments. Right, I think I'm going to have a conversation about that more specifically in the next video because our time is almost up on this one. So your very first step to determine whether a client is serious or not is where the client is coming from. Some of you do ads, and when you do ads, to be frank with you, your ad may not transfer or translate to immediate sale because this guy just found you. And if your branding is not good enough, sometimes the sale will not even happen, right? So you have to understand that there is a process to this and it will not always be automatic. So in the course of having the conversations, make sure you are qualifying the client and you are asking the right questions. And then asking the right questions like, what are you looking to achieve? When are you looking to do this? How soon do you want to send somebody for inspection? And a number of other questions. It will help you determine whether this person wants to do this now or not. And of course, don't always forget that your scarcity and your urgency is very important. And the moment you are able to do that, if the client is ready, the client will buy. If the client is not ready, the client will wait till whenever he or she is ready, also based on what you are going to be doing during the course of the client's waiting. But that doesn't mean the client is not serious. Rather, the client is not ready to do business with you. So if you understand this, it will help you clarify on the issue of whether a client is serious or not. That's what we have for you today on Sales Tips by Fortreal Real Estate Academy. And my name again is Raymond Ejama. and I am the lead facilitator of this program. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in our paid program, our paid masterclass, the number to reach out to is right on your screen. Literally everything you get here is 10% of what you can get in the paid masterclass. If you're interested in that, the number to reach out to is right on your screen. Hope to see you in the next video where we go further into conversations like this.